Welcome. In this session, we will see what is WAL archiving in PostgreSQL and how to enable it, and some of the most important topics which happen in the space of WAL archiving. So first of the thing, why do we need a WAL file? A WAL file is the fundamental file which is available in PostgreSQL. We will talk about that. But before that, WAL files and the archive files which are there in PostgreSQL, if you enable it, they are required mainly for point in time recovery for your Postgre. And if you have the PG based backup available along with the WAL files, and if there are any archives which you have enabled, then that will help you in roll forward for your Postgre backup and you can restore it to a particular point in time. So how can we see the WAL segments in PostgreSQL? You can simply do ls-lrt of pg data and pg underscore WAL. So what I will do is, if you simply say ls-ltr, I'm already logged into an EC2 instance that has Postgre already installed. So if you do this, this is the default location of PG WAL when you create a new cluster. So this is how it looks initially. And once you have enabled the archiving, you will see something very interesting in a directory which is available like this. So if you say ls-ld, and then if you go to pg data, pgwall slash archive underscore status, you will see a directory something like this. As of now, since we have not enabled the archiving, you will not be able to see anything inside this directory. So when a new cluster is created, you will see just a PG wall and maybe a couple of the uh, wall files available and a blank data directory which is called as archive underscore status. Now the question is, what is WAL archiving and how to configure it in PostgreSQL? So we need to understand what is WAL. WAL file is required for the data integrity. So when the WAL file that results in reduced number of disk write, and because they are only the log file that needs to be flushed to the disk. So in general, these are the files which are required for every transaction that changes the data in your database. It is stored over there. It records all the transaction which has happened inside your database. In case you have to restore your database, what you need is you need a hot backup of the database. In Postgre world, we say pg underscore base backup. And on top of that, if you have the walls, then if you can apply all of them, then you can restore it up to a particular point in time. But what is WAL archiving? The generic meaning of archiving is to copy to a different location. The same holds for Postgre WAL as well. If you are able to copy the WAL from the default location for our newly created cluster, it will be in pg data slash pg underscore WAL. If you are able to copy this WAL file to a non-default location, then you will be able to save it and it will not be recycled or deleted due to the Postgre setting which are there by default or which you enable according to your environment. The recycling can be delayed by setting some of the parameters to a higher limit, but there will be a limit when it is going to be recycled. So we'll see what is the default location of the Postgre WAL file. So if you go to uh, this location ls-ltr, which you have already seen, $pg data slash pg wall, you will be able to see the current location of the wall files. If you wanted to give to a different location to the wall, you need to create a soft link and then you need to redirect it to a new location. And how to enable the WAL archiving? So let's see these two parameters, show WAL level and show WAL keep size. So if I just go to psql command prompt and if I say the WAL level, by default it is replica, Um, so it is going to generate enough, or you can have it the logical as well. So wall keep size as of now it is mentioned to 0 because it is a new cluster and there has been no modification in that. But for our purpose, we are going to save it, or we are going to change it. To make the archiving, you have to set a parameter which is called as archive underscore mode. It has to be set to on. There are these three are the parameters value which are available, but we have to set it on to enable it. Second important configuration in archive command is in archiving is archive underscore command. Actually, this is the command which actually invokes inside your PostgreSQL.conf file, and it actually does the archiving to a location which you mention over there. And we have something called as archive timeout also. By default, this is 0, but when you set it to some value, let's say 1 hour, so after 1 hour, even if there is no activity in the database, the WAL segment will get generated. Let us see the current settings in our PostgreSQL. These are the default which are available during the creation of the instance. You can see that archive command is disabled, archive mode is off, that we need to set to on. Archive timeout is 0, that means automatically no switching of the log file is going to happen. Wall keep size, there is nothing like this, so we can set it to some value. Wall level, by default it is replica, so this is fine. Wall segment size, it is 16 MB, and that's okay for us. So let's go ahead and make the required. So how do we configure the WAL archiving? This is the important step. First of all, you need to have a file system where you can store it. So for our case, we are going to keep it at this location in our home directory. Let's see if there is something over there. These were old files. We will remove all of them. Okay, the first step which you need to do is you need to create a location where you are going to store the file. So I'm going to say mkdir-p $home. This is my home directory, and inside that I'm going to keep the WAL archive. So this is a small demo environment. So this much of space is enough for me. df-h. You can see we have 8.4 GB, but that's more than sufficient. And what we need to make changes is we have to change the archive mode to on. We have to set the archive command wherein we have to mention what location it is going to copy. We have to set the higher limit of the max wall size. Let's say if we say 1 GB, we have to set that. Either you can put these value manually into PostgreSQL.conf using vi command or the editor which you are using, and you can mention wall keep segments. That is the minimum number of 10 wall log files will be retained on the file system. Wall level by default it is replica, and then we have the commands which you can fire. So I can directly use the let us do it one by one. I'll go to PSQL prompt. So instead of doing vi this time, I'm just going to fire it on the PSQL prompt. Alter system set archive command. We are going to mention the location. So we are saying alter system set archive command. We are saying put it in this particular location. This is where live pgsql, and there is a directory wall underscore archive we have created. It is going to use that location. And there seems something missing over here. It's, it's not fully copied. Let's copy it again. Okay, let me copy it from the notepad, which we have prepared for this. So what we will use is this command. Okay, let's go back and say order system archive timeout equal to 1 hour. We wanted after 1 hour there should be a forceful generation. It is done. Let me check. Let us fire all the commands in one shot. Alter system set archive mode equal to on, archive command, archive timeout, and wall keep size. We are keeping it to 100 MB. Okay. All right. So also let's mention the wall keep segment. Let's say 10 we will keep. Okay, that's fine for this demo. Let's restart the PostgreSQL instance. This is restarted. Now we are going to verify the changes which have been performed for enabling the archiving, uh, whether they came up or not. Okay, this seems okay. Archive mode should be set to on. This is on. Archive command, this is very important because this is the command which is going to copy the archive from your default location, which is pgdata/val, to this particular location it is going to copy. Archive timeout after 60 minutes, there will be a forceful switch. So this is mentioned. Wall keep size we have mentioned is 100 MB. Wall level it is default replica. Wall segment size it was 16 MB. So that's everything is perfect. Okay, let's do some switch and see what happens. Let's go to the new location where the archives will be copied. As of now, there's nothing in this. And if we go to ls-lrt $pg data /pg underscore wall, you will see there is just one file, one log of wall. And let's do some switches. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Now let's see what is getting generated in pg data, pg wall. Okay. Okay, this is a reload config I have fired. I should have fired the, where is that? Okay, okay, let me, I think I have not copied it over here. Let's go to PSQL and execute this. Yes. And now, first of all, we will see what is there in the wall file. pgdata/pg wall, you will see there are two wall files generated. And if we go to the archives, the location which we had created, you will see the two files came over, copied over here as well. But what is there inside the archive status? Let us go there. Navigate to pg data/pg wall, and we have the third file also generated. Go to archive status. You can see there are two files with the extension .done. So this is wall number 1 .done, wall number 2 .done. It means that when this archive command was executed, these two files are successfully copied to the archive location, which is this location. $home/archive WAL archive, that was the name. And if you see, these are copied over here. Let's do some more force switchings and we'll see what happens. Let us see what is there in the WAL archives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 files are copied to the archiving location. Now let's go back to the WAL files. We'll go to the actual WAL location, which is pgdata/pgwal. And if you see here, there are 6 files which are generated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we go to archive status, it shows that 5 files have been copied. And you can see here the 5 files of WAL, 5 WAL files that are generated in the default location, they are copied or they have been archived to a location which you have mentioned in archive underscore command location. So this is working fine. Now let's do the next step. What we are going to do is uh, we are going to stop the archiving to see what happens. So we are saying alter system set archive command. We are setting it to false. It is done. And then let's reload the configuration file. It is reloaded. And then let's switch the WAL files a couple of times. Okay. All right. Then let's check what happens in archive status. In the archive status, it is saying that 5 files which are ready, which are in the .done state, they have been already archived, but there are 2 files. Since we have set the archiving to off, they are now ready to be archived. So what we did is we have turned off the archiving. So we just set like archive command equal to off to false. So the archiving is paused or the stopped as of now. Let us go to this location because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 files, they are in archive underscore status with .done. That means they have already been archived. Number 6 and number 7, they are showing ready. That means they are ready to be archived. But in default pg underscore wal directory, we can see there are 8 WAL files. 7, they have been moved to archive underscore status. with the status, there are 5 with the done. That means they have already archived. 6 and 7, they are ready to be archived, and number 8 is still available in pg underscore wall. If you again turn it to on, they will be moved over to pg underscore to the non-default location where you have mentioned. So if you now it will not move automatically unless or until you again switch on the archiving. So cd dollar home, and here you see the WAL archive. The 5 files which are with the done status, they are available over here. The ready, they are not yet available over here. Just to simulate, we turned it off, but there may be many reasons why they have not came up over here in the real scenario. So some of the scenario may be archiving is not working because of XYZ reason, or there may be too much of load on your operating system, or archiving may be failing due to some XYZ reason. And how can we monitor the archiving? You just simply say select star from pg underscore stat underscore archiver. As of now, this is turned off, but when it was on, you can mention it over here. You can see. Oops. Last archived WAL, it is showing that till number 5 it has been archived, and at the operating system also we are seeing it perfectly fine. Last archive time, you can see it over here. There has been 15 failed counts. Last failed WAL, that means number 6, which is showing ready. It has not been archived because of some problem with the archiving, and it is showing dot ready status, so that is also good. It's not going to show you in the next one because it is showing you the last one. Last fail time, it is also going to show if you wanted to do some troubleshooting, and that is how it is going to work. Let us see if there is some information mentioned in your log file. cd $pg data. There are some informations which are mentioned over here. So if you're able to find something from different factors, you will be able to do it. Otherwise, you will be able to see some of the information mentioned over here. But most of them is the command which we have fired, but you might find some information over here. So just a recap of what we have done is we have seen how to enable the archiving in PostgreSQL and what is there in the archive underscore status command. So to enable the archiving, what you need to do is you need to work on a few parameters, and some of them are like your archive mode equal to on. You have to set the archive command. You have to fire the command. When a new WAL file is generated, it will copy it to the WAL location, WAL archive location, which you have mentioned. And if you mention the archive timeout, then forcefully it is going to switch the WAL. So that will also help in making sure that in the quiet period there will be switches happening, and it is also archived. And you can mention the WAL keep size, WAL keep segments, and you have to restart to make sure that it works properly. And when you turn it on, you will be able to see that archive underscore status. This is going to be very, very interesting. Okay, let me scroll up and we are talking about archive underscore status. That clearly shows what is the status of the archive as of now. So we saw 5 files which are already archived there in the .done status, and those which are not archived, they are in the dot. So these are just the pointer which tells what is the status as of now. And if you wanted to see through the command prompt, you can fire pg underscore stat underscore archive. I hope this is going to help.